Well, welcome. Let me ask a question tonight. What is the number one cause of death worldwide? Heart disease, cancer, AIDS, war, hunger, natural disasters? If you guessed any of those, it's none of the above. The number one cause of death in the world today is abortion. So I brought you today to the Annapolis Pregnancy Center, which sits right across the street from Planned Parenthood on West Street in Annapolis. But before we stay in Annapolis, I want to take you to China for a while. China has an abortion rate, an official abortion rate of 13 million unborn children per year. It is considered the primary means of birth control. You'll see ads on the sides of buses, advertisements on TVs promoting abortion. Cheap, inexpensive, and pain-free. The unofficial estimates for abortion in China are around 30 million children per year. One of the reasons that is that though sex selection, using abortion for sex selection is illegal in China, yet many clinics have the facilities to use for sex selection, so it's still utilized. And the abortion rate is estimated to be at least twice as high as the official abortion rate. One of the added problems is that the church in China traditionally has a very, very minor understanding of what the Bible teaches about the sanctity of human life. So it is common among churches to assist women in paying for their abortions. It's even common in the case of women pastors that women pastors have had abortions. It was a man named Li, L-I, Chinese, a man who had a growing concern for this great evil in his own land, an evil that he called murder. He came to understand what the Bible taught regarding the sanctity of life from conception till natural death in passages like Isaiah 43. He began studying the pro-life movement in America and the networks that were developing in America. And he set to prayer. And he began praying, Lord, how would you want to rule? How would you want to work in the midst of this great evil in China? This murder of millions of innocent children per year. And through that kingdom prayer, God led Li to establish a network, a decentralized network, a decentralized pro-life movement throughout China called the China Life Alliance, abbreviated CLA. CLA is a decentralized network, pro-life movement, and one of its priorities is to move throughout the churches in China, the thousands of churches in China, and teach within the churches about the sanctity of human life. And then to assist these churches in providing alternatives to women who are pregnant and by government standards would be asked to have an abortion, or women who might choose to have an abortion on the basis of sex selection. The result of this is this decentralized movement where they are providing safe houses for young unwed mothers who would experience tremendous pressure from their families to have abortions but would like to keep their children. They're providing funding to assist mothers in keeping their children. It's a movement that's spreading throughout China that is providing legal advocacy, where though it's currently illegal in China to have forced abortions, it is common in rural areas for that to take place. So legal advocacy that is addressing that. An effort to promote adoption among childless families to adopt these children. It's a decentralized movement moving across China, the China Life Alliance, that is affecting churches and affecting mothers and preserving the lives of children and changing the heart attitude within the church for the sanctity of human life. And it all began with the kingdom praying of this man, Li, Li, asking God, what would you want to do in our nation? How would you want to rule to prevail in this evil? Well, as a part of our journey in prayer, now we're coming back to Annapolis as a part of our journey in prayer. Our goal has been to expand our prayer life, to expand it such that we too are praying kingdom prayers. We're praying for the rule and the work of Christ around the world, in places of brokenness, in places of injustice, in places of evil, in places of darkness. And I've asked you, as a part of your journey in prayer, in your small groups or your journey groups, to, as you pray those kingdom prayers, to pray for God to lead you to a Micah 6:8 project. Micah 6:8, that we are to act justly and love mercy and walk humbly with our God. So let me suggest that one of your Micah 6:8 projects could be to participate in the 40 Days of Life. It began in September 22nd. It goes through November 2nd. 40 Days of Life, which is occurring across the nation as people gather to pray for our nation, for our unborn children, for our mothers, for abortion advocates, and for pregnancy centers such as the Annapolis Pregnancy Center. You can come here and pray. In fact, folks meet here regularly and pray, standing on the front yard, praying across the street for the women going into the Planned Parenthood Center. So I'd encourage your journey group to consider that. You can go on the website. You can go to 40 Days of Life, and it'll give you ideas on what your small group can be praying or how you can be advocating. So, 40 Days of Life, a possibility for your small group as you think about your Micah 6:8 project, as you pray your kingdom prayers. And remember, as you pray your kingdom prayers, oftentimes what you pray for, God calls you to act upon. And it may be that in praying this, God will call you to act upon this issue in our country for the good of women and for the good of children and for the good of our nation. God's blessing on your small group tonight, and I'll see you on Sunday.